here and help do this event and sort of unveil the news to all of us here. And as we call out your communities, I'm going to invite everybody from that community to come on up, and we'll hear a little bit from you as you do that. So Becky and Mary, take it away.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Our first community is Fond du Lac Band of Superior, Chippewa, Lake Superior, Chippewa. Fond du Lac Reservation has over 4,000 enrolled members and employs more than 2,000 people. Fond du Lac staff says its community economic development strategies reflect an understanding of the interwoven nature of economic development with ongoing education, enhanced family life, and personal development. The band's leadership recognizes broadband as critical infrastructure for improving the quality of life for its residents. In the application, Fond du Lac Chairwoman Karen Divers stated that her staff has been working on broadband access issues on the reservation since 2004. The need for broadband access remains, she writes. As each year passes, our rural people become further separated from their urban counterparts who find themselves on the other side of the digital divide. With us to say a few words about the band's hopes for the project is the band's MIS director, Fred Underwood.
Well, I'd like to start out by saying that it's really important to point out that the broadband adoption at Fond du Lac Indian Reservation isn't driven by anything other than people who live there and their desire to be part of a greater community than just the small area that they live in. And it's not different from any of your communities. You know, I'm going to steal a quote from one of my favorite TV shows, and it goes, "You don't even know what you don't know." And that's the truth for most of what we do with broadband, because you can look at the data, you can look at how people are utilizing it, you can look at who's adopting it, what they're using it for, but you really don't even know what they're going to do with it until you get it to them. And I've been working in the IT industry for my entire adult life, and it never ceases to amaze me that when you hand somebody a piece of technology, you make it easy enough to use it, they don't have to become an IT professional to use it, what they do with it. And sometimes the results are amazing. You know, I would never have predicted half the things I watch the kids at our school do with technology. Sometimes I scratch my head and go, wow. Sometimes I shake my head and go, wow. But the point is, that's what we should all be after. We should all be after implementing broadband in our communities in such a fashion that our communities can dictate and direct how they'll be used. Because that's really what it's about. It's not about my vision of what I think they should use it for, or the government's vision of what they think that the community should use it for, but it's about the community members themselves being able to have access to that connectivity to the entire world, and being able to utilize and develop additional uses for that technology that we can't even imagine today. Anyway, thanks.
The task area is the next Blandin broadband community we'd like to introduce to you today. Itasca Area Economic Development Corporation will administer the program on behalf of the area it serves, including all of Itasca County, portions of Cass, Aiken, and Coochin counties. IEDC's mission is to help create quality jobs in cooperation with the public, private, and nonprofit sectors. As a Blandin broadband community, IEDC intends to focus on developing technology talent in the region and helping businesses use the technology available to them. Assets IEDC will build on to achieve these goals include bandwidth expansion, a telepresence project spearheaded by a school collaborative that links 6 area school districts, and telemedicine capabilities at healthcare facilities. IEDC's Blandin Broadband Community Leadership Team includes small business owners who are high-tech users and low-tech users, businesses with global perspective, K-12 education, higher education, economic development, the Chamber of Commerce, tourism, healthcare, government, and technology service providers, and underrepresented populations. Here to talk a little bit about iTaskNet is the IEDC President, Mark Zimmerman. Mark.
Have to use these, by the way. Well, hello, everybody. I wanted to say thanks to the Blandin Foundation. I'm fairly new to economic development. I've been in the role about 3 months, and I've sort of read a lot of what's happened in the previous MERC initiatives, and it's all very exciting to me. It seems like there's a little confusion, at least in my mind, when they talk about broadband and internet. They almost use them synonymously, and I don't look at them as synonymously. So I think from our area, we definitely have put together an awesome team. We've got people from across our entire community, not just Grand Rapids. That was done on purpose because we do represent all of Itasca County. We've got K-12 and higher education represented, healthcare. We've got many businesses on our group. Primarily, that's probably more driven from what my focus is, because I really want to make sure, out of the couple projects we're probably going to put forward, I want to make sure some of those are aimed at business development and economic development. Because quite honestly, I think technology is very underutilized in our business community, and I think that there's great opportunity there. And that's one of the challenges we have there is even basic Google Places, right? Things like that. That I think there's great avenues that we can create. Technology is my background. I've been in the computer industry 30 years. I'm very passionate about it, and we have an awesome team of folks to help us work through projects. I think in general, I really hope that our team has fun, and I want to make sure that it is a fun thing, and that my real hope for the end of it is that we have sustainable projects that can continue on after this program goes by, or we have another program to replace it. But the key is sustainability, right? Starting and then stopping it and getting no progress because the program ends doesn't do us any good, in my opinion. And so I think that's one of the characteristics that we're going to be looking at from our projects that we do select is it going to be sustainable after the funding goes away, quite honestly. And with that, I thank you.
Next, we have Kanabec County. The Blandin Broadband Community Program in Kanabec County will be led by the Kanabec Broadband Initiative, or KBI. They are an ad hoc group of community stakeholders that recognize the importance of broadband to the economic competitiveness and quality of life of county residents, businesses, and institutions. Established in 2011, Kanabec Broadband Initiative's goal is to achieve access to affordable 15 to 20 megabit per second services for all county businesses and residents by 2015. KBI has identified possible benefits from broadband service to the area's healthcare, education, economic development, social services, and public safety sectors. The KBI Blandin Broadband Community Leadership Team represents city and county government, schools, healthcare organizations, service providers, businesses, agriculture, social services, and economic development organizations. Here to say a few words about Kanabec's hopes for the project is Beth Thorpe or Mark Johnson. Mark is from the East Central Minnesota Educational Cable Cooperative.
Thanks, Mary. We had to decide which one of us was going to stand up. Just first of all, on behalf of the Kanabec Broadband Initiative and the residents and businesses of Kanabec County, we want to thank the Blandin Foundation for this opportunity. We're very, very excited about it. As Mary said, we started in January 2011. With our initiative, it was kind of spurred really by business, especially by business interests, in terms of some businesses that felt that some of the services that they offered could not be utilized fully by people who didn't have good access to broadband services. We brought then together many of the stakeholders that Mary mentioned, schools, healthcare, business, economic development, city, county, and started to branch out in townships and other areas to build support We completed a feasibility study that taught us some good things. One, it taught us that in terms of that digital divide in our county, we still have a lot of that, both 1.0 and 2.0 going on. Sadly, we saw our county show up on that one map as not getting a very good grade in terms of where we're at in terms of meeting the goals. If you live in the city of Mora, you meet the goals, essentially. Because you have access to high speed from a number of providers. If you are one of the 75% of our county's residents that doesn't live in the city of Mora, it's not there. So that's what our initiative has been about bringing change to that situation. We brought the providers to the table, which I think is a little bit of a unique situation, existing providers, and trying to get them to partner with us and find ways to solve the problem that exists. We're really, really excited about a number of projects that we think are going to be great opportunities to showcase how broadband can be used and can continue to build support for our project to meet our goals. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. The next Blandin broadband community we'd like to introduce you to is Lake County. Lake County in the Arrowhead region of northeastern Minnesota covers 2,100 square miles with a population of 10,824 in 3 cities and 5 townships. The county is seeking ways to further support its communities through workforce development, support for technical innovation, and initiatives to address digital inclusion. Its goal is to ensure that all residents, including low-income families and senior citizens, can benefit from the services high-speed internet can provide. Lake County's Blandin broadband community leadership team includes county officials and representatives from social services, economic development, and education. And here to say a few words is either Angie Palmer and or Tom Clifford.
I'd first like to start by thanking Blandin for putting on this conference. As you might be aware, that Lake County has a large grant and loan available from the RUS to put in high-speed fiber internet connection to every home in the county. So we're going to have the infrastructure available. What happens is that as we try to put in this infrastructure, we butt heads with a lot of other providers out there, including like Frontier, where we're having issues with pole attachments in regards to who owns the telephone poles in cities like Two Harbors, or with the Northeast Service Block, where we're having difficulty trying to agree on cooperative ventures in regards to putting fiber in the ground. And so this becomes very frustrating for us. And it's programs like this that energize us and reinvigorate us in regards to getting us going back on the right track when we're thinking we're discouraged about how progress is going in our program. With that said, 5 years ago, a small group of us kind of sat down and naively thought about ways that we could develop better internet services and better broadband speeds in our county. And from that, we got this grant and loan available for us to develop this program. The one part that has always been missing, in my opinion, has been how do we integrate this and educate the local communities in terms of using these services that now will be available. And hopefully with this grant through the Blandin Foundation, we will be able to better serve this community and educate these people. And for that, I thank Blandin very much.
Southwest Minnesota Broadband Services is a consortium of 8 communities: Jackson, Lakefield, Round Lake, Bingham Lake, Brewster, Wilder, Heron Lake, and Okabena that provides high-speed internet, voice, and cable TV services. SMBS leverages the initial success of WindowNet, a fiber-to-the-premise network in Windham, Minnesota. Located in a sparsely populated region of Minnesota, these communities have a long history of building technology solutions for their residents, including cable TV and wireless internet networks. SMBS's service area includes a total population of 7,337. They have installed service for 1,191 customers since January. Both installations and revenue have exceeded projections for the year. As a Blandin broadband community, SMBS will work to improve residents' ability to reap the benefits of its network. SMBS's Blandin broadband community leadership team includes education, business, and social service representatives. Here from SMBS is Dan Olson or Kurt Winkleman.
Good morning, I'm Kurt Winkleman, and I want to thank the Blandin Foundation for the opportunity to come here this morning and share some information about our program. We have the infrastructure built now, and what we're looking to do with the continued relationship with Blandin for the next 2 years is to enhance both the potential and the capability of the resources that we have with our fiber loop. Again, thank you.
The Lake of the Woods Economic Development Authority and Lake of the Woods Broadband Task Force will partner with the Blandin Foundation on behalf of their county. Leaders in this sparsely populated county along the Canadian border in extreme north-central Minnesota believe benefits of bringing broadband to the region are numerous. Partnerships with schools, telehealth and telehealth opportunities, improving access with computers at libraries and senior centers, and with Wi-Fi hotspots. The Lake of the Woods Blandin Broadband Community Leadership Team includes representatives from healthcare, education, social services, government, broadband providers, and businesses. It also includes 2 students. Here from Lake of the Woods County is Tom Ginder. Tom?
Looking at those pictures, you'd think all we do is fish. Like everybody else, I'd like to thank Blandin for creating this atmosphere that we can join the broadband and the progress that's being made. I feel that Lake of the Woods County is something of a newcomer. This is our first meeting, of course, and we're just getting started at this, but as I researched this on the internet, I found that every city and county in the state of Minnesota is years ahead of us, so we've got a lot of catching up to do. But we did attend a meeting that Blandin provided in the middle of August, and got a delegation of 4 of our people, a county commissioner, county IT guy, county economic development, and myself. We went down there and we're really enthused about the opportunity and the goal to create an application and get a grant. We went home and, of course, immediately started the steering committee. We've got people, like she said earlier, from our school, from our hospital, our senior citizens, and tourism, of course, that's very big up there. Business leaders, county economic development director, whose son is here, by the way, as part of our students. And I should thank Blandin also for providing this opportunity for our 4 students and their counselor. And we did go ahead and create a grant application, and I should thank Carl Freegard, who I thought was going to be here, but I haven't seen him. Carl is from Northwest Community Action, and he knows how to put together a grant, and that's obviously why we're here. But I think the first order of business when we get up there is to work with our Blandin consultants, do an inventory of what we have there as far as broadband and participation, and then come up with an action plan. And I look forward to being back here in between two, but in 2 years, I'd like to come back here and share with you the progress that we made in Lake of the Woods County. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lac-Carl Valley School District is the state's 11th largest by geography. It serves 800 students within 5 counties and 735 square miles in far west central Minnesota. The district already is a key consumer of technology resources in the region, and this project will integrate public and private partners within the district to build technology capacity for students, residents, cities, and businesses. While the region already is well equipped with broadband, with 90% of the district served by a fiber-to-the-premise network or wireless internet service, the community has an ambitious vision for putting the system to work for the community as a whole. Streaming video of local government meetings, sharing public and school library resources, providing students hands-on experience in media and technology businesses, and strengthening the local businesses' online marketing efforts. Lac-Carl Valley's Blandin Broadband Community Leadership Team includes representatives from government, education, healthcare, public institutions, as well as local residents and students. Here to speak on behalf of Lac-Carl Valley School District is Renee Tostenson, their superintendent.
I just want to thank Blandin so very much for this opportunity for our schools and the communities that we serve. As our students said, and as Mary said, we are a community that is built on 765 square miles. We have 9 communities and touch 5 different county areas. And those of you that work in this area understand what collaboration is all about when you're pulling those people together. And we pulled together a group of people because this grant didn't come up a long time in advance for us. We all of a sudden decided 2 weeks before it was available and we needed a deadline. We said, oh my goodness, we need to do this. And I called various people throughout all of those communities and they all came together. And I was amazed and I thought, holy cow, our school and our kids have this wonderful group of people that want to see us move forward. And you're right, you guys, we are going to be able to do that partnership with Pioneer Public TV and with our local radio stations to try and enhance what we have in our media classes with Ryan back here. I want to say thank you to the EDAs and Regional Development Commission and the intelligent community people for giving us 90% access to broadband within our school district. The thing is that we've been talking about last evening and today is the difference between access and adoption. And that's what we're going to really work on. We want to make sure that all children in our community of Lac-Carl Valley have access. And that means that we need to figure out a way so devices can be there. We need to work with our providers and see what we can do to make that happen. So thank you so much, Blandin. We can't wait for this challenge to begin, and we'll work with you.
Hard not to get excited when you talk, Renee. It's just awesome that's going to happen, and can't wait to see what you guys are going to do with that. Next up, we have Mille Lacs County. Access in Mille Lacs County is an issue. According to the Connect Minnesota Broadband Service Inventory, all but a small portion of the county has broadband available, mostly mobile wireless or DSL broadband in rural areas. The 8 cities have cable broadband. The county's rates of unemployment, poverty, and senior residents are all higher than average in the state and can be barriers for residents to access or use broadband. In their BBC application, the county staff wrote, a lot of our economic development future success may hinge on increasing broadband usage, support, affordability, and access in Mille Lacs County. Several county task forces have determined that economic development, including adoption and use of broadband, is increasingly important for the county's current and long-term success. The county's proposed projects include working with educational, government, and business resources to assist residents in making the most of available broadband. Mille Lacs County's Blandin Broadband Community Leadership Team includes representatives from government, social services, and businesses. And here's Mille Lacs County's Administrator Roxy Traxel to say a few words. Roxy.
I'll start off with, I really don't like standing up here talking to everybody. We are really excited about this opportunity with Blandin because we are, I think, even a year behind, say, the Knabec County group in that this is really the beginning for us. When she mentioned task forces, we started a comprehensive strategic planning process well over a year ago. And it keeps coming up in every task force that we've talked about, whether it was economic development, whether it was social services and public health, whether it was public safety, that this is an issue and that we need to start talking about it to address it. And through this program, what we're looking for is to build that community sense of what the issue is, first of all, because I think people know, but they haven't really talked about it. And then also, what do we do about the issue? How do we get more people involved? As stated, we have a rural, poor county. Cost is a factor. You know, just because there's mobile access available doesn't mean people can afford it or that they're using it. So we have to look at those types of issues. Economic development is a big one. If you're familiar at all with Mille Lacs County, you know we have no business base. And in order to get and keep the small mom and pop home businesses that we have, we need to get them a presence. They need to be on the map. We hear a lot of tourists will go through and they'll put in their smartphone, okay, I want a restaurant. Well, if it's not on their smartphone, they're not going to stop. And our businesses, a lot of them don't have that. So we're really starting from the beginning, and once we figure out what we have, we want to get more people involved. We've got support and interest from our schools, from some of our local banks, other businesses. Our county obviously is very involved in this. But to spread that word, get people interested. Blandin's going to be our mentor and our coach through this process, so we're very excited to get started. Thank you.
Last but certainly not least is the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe. The Mille Lacs Band is located in east central Minnesota on the Mille Lacs Reservation. More than 2,300 of the band's 4,300 members live within reservation boundaries. The band has recognized a disparity in digital literacy among band members and has undertaken several initiatives to address the disparity, including satellite internet connections, computers in common spaces, digital literacy courses, and bringing fiber optic cable to a segment of the reservation. Their work through the Blandin Broadband Communities program will build on this work. The Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe's Blandin Broadband Communities leadership team includes representatives from social services, education, tribal government, and businesses. Here today from the Mille Lacs Band is Keith Hoagland and Joyce Chingobi.
First of all, on behalf of the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe, I want to say many miigwechas to the Blandin Foundation for giving us the opportunity to work with their foundation to create some better lives for the people of our community. The other thing I want to say is we do have a long-standing relationship with the Blandin Foundation with various grants that we've received in the past. And also many of our band members, Mille Lacs band members, have participated in the leadership programs that Blandin has offered. I, for myself, have participated in 1994 and in 2010 in the Community Leadership Program and in the American Indian Leadership Program. So that was a great experience for me and for a lot of our band members, because now we can come together and really see what our community needs are and how we can work together to solve those. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is that just in the recent, I just recently headed up the education department as executive director, and one of my first responsibilities was to create an online school. And I see Keith over there kind of shrinking because it was actually in a District 3 community of our reservation, which is really the remotest part, the isolated part of our reservation. As most of you know or don't know, our reservation is comprised of 160 miles, and District 1 is where we're located at. District 2 is about 60, 70 miles northeast of District 1. And then Lake Lena in the District 3 of our reservation is by the Danbury, Minnesota border, which is like about 80, I know it to 83 miles because I drive there almost every day. But in District 3 is where we started our online school, and it was such a challenge to get that going because we had students who wanted to do online schooling rather than attend any of the local schools in our district. And so Keith and I worked a lot together and stuff to create that. But before that, in the process there, we had what was supposed to be satellite internet. And anytime, as all of you guys know who live in remote areas, anytime the wind blows or a tree flickers, you lose connection. And so that was a really big challenge for us. So we really look forward to working on this whole project together with Blandin's support and community support to get this going for our community, because we really need it in our community. Miigwech.